Hey Bill, thanks for putting these 10 questions out there. I'm going to try to keep it simple from a real estate investor point of view. I appreciate you putting them out there. I know they're accepting comments from the public. Um, gathering supporting documents and information, like a 1003 app. I don't have any problem with that. I would say yes. And a credit report. How important is a balloon payment? I think we could just keep increasing the interest rate over a period of time to disincentive, make it a disincentive for the vendee or the buyer. Um, that could substitute for a balloon. But I know a lot of people they want to. A lot of sellers that sell on terms, they want to be able to get out of that and get cashed out over after a certain period of time. So um, I think it's important to a lot of people, especially in the note business. That note is worth less if there's no balloon. Where I use a standard note and deed of trust, if one existed, sure, no problem with three. Number four, standard lease with option, allowing the option price to be financed if one existed. Sure, I don't see any problem with that. Um, would agree to a mortgage servicing company, your choice. I mean, we use Evergreen out of Washington State. Um, we get the buyer to pay for it. Would I be willing to pay to or pay the servicing company or split the servicing fees under certain circumstances with the borrower to complete an annual report of payments and loan activity to be held on file? I don't see any problem with six. Would I be willing to attend a class of instruction of 20 hours supervised by the state and pay a fee similar to that of a real estate agent? Sure. I'd love to be able to get a designation as a seller financing expert on a national basis like an RMLO has. So yeah, that would be great instead of just passing a class. Would I be willing to obtain a license for real estate dealers similar to that of a real estate agent? Uh, the word dealer as per the IRS versus an investor, I think a lot of people are very nervous about trying to stay away from being classified as a dealer. But sure, any kind of licensing that would increase confidence in the marketplace, I think would be great. How many real estate financing deals would I really expect to do as a seller or buyer? Well, what I like to do is to get control of a property with a lease and an option and then sell that particular agreement for a fee. And it looks like with the Dodd Frank, it looks like it's coming under collecting fees and points. Um, so uh, I don't know. How many would I expect to do if I did a lease option flip? Probably more than 100 a year, if you want a number. As a seller or a lender, would I agree to loan to value requirements or an equity amount established by a borrower to extend or modify any obligation under certain default instances? Well, regarding default, I mean, if I buy a house on a subject to and I don't pay the underlying lien on a reliable basis, I believe I should forfeit the deed to that house without any big deal as far as foreclosure for the seller that trusted me to make those payments, even if my tenant buyer or vendee defaulted. I'd still have to make that payment. So that's the kind of promise, the moral promise on a subject to. I know there's been some really dishonest people that have bought a lot of properties. I remember back in 2003, there was this guy in Texas that had over 800 subject to purchases, and he didn't make any payments to the underlying lien. So yeah, I think you should hold a deed and some kind of protection for the seller in case of default, so they don't have to go through a foreclosure proceeding. I mean, my real concerns is that the government is going to really get in the way of helping me be creative. I mean, that's one of the biggest things for me, um, especially people that are honest. There's just a few bad apples. Um, so those are my answers. I hope it hasn't been too long. I hate typing. It drives me crazy, so I put together this video for you. Thanks a lot, Bill. I appreciate all you do. Bye.